Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because today's video I need to get some housekeeping done. I was kind of going back and forth on how I was going to do this, and I thought, okay, well, I can kind of shove some information in videos, or I can make a post about it, or I could just throw it all in one video. So I decided that's what I was going to do. Hopefully it's not too boring for you all, but there's just a couple things I need to get to. So first off is announcing the winner for my Power Planter Starter Kit giveaway. Last week I posted a video, I will link it down below. I was actually planting alliums right behind me, and I was using my Power Planter, and I actually worked with Power Planter on that video to do a giveaway for all you guys for the Power Planter Starter Kit. And all you had to do was leave a comment in the comment section. I think that if I ever do a giveaway, that's all I'm gonna have you guys do, just to make it really, really easy. And so I just wanted to announce the winner. So what I did is I just took all of the comments, numbered them, and then did a random generator. I did this on Sunday, and the winner is Thompson559. So congratulations to Thompson559, he or she. Please email me with your information, and then so that I can verify that it is you. Thank you all for commenting. Your comments were absolutely amazing. I wanted to respond, but I was trying not to not mess with the number of comments that were there. So thank you all. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate all of everything that you guys said. I read it all, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And congratulations to Thompson559. So the second thing I wanted to talk about today is something I'm really excited about. It's actually something I've been planning, I think, since June. You could ask Jason, he can verify that. But what I'm planning is I'm planning a Holidays in the Garden series starting next Monday. So the holidays are coming up. We've got Thanksgiving here in the United States. We've got Christmas. We've got Hanukkah. We've got all this fun stuff coming up. And I wanted to kind of celebrate that. I wanted to celebrate that on my channel. And the reason why I wanted to celebrate that is because I love the holidays. I love the whole season of it, you know, just as much as I love gardening. And I know once we get into the holidays, gardening kind of takes a back seat. And so I was kind of sitting there thinking, like, what could I do on my channel, you know, that would be something that I would actually want to do, and that, you know, as a viewer, I would actually want to watch. And one of the things I love watching are, you know, the Christmas series, the holidays series, kind of like a countdown series where it's going to be 25 days, still my normal schedule of Monday through Friday. So it's going to be 5 weeks, and we're just going to count down 25 days and do fun DIY projects, fun events, fun things that all have to do with the holiday season. So I do celebrate Christmas, so it is going to be kind of Christmas centric. So I apologize to all of you that don't celebrate Christmas, but I just wanted to announce that it's starting on Monday, which is November 21st, and it's going to go all the way through December 23rd. So I hope you will all join me for the 25 days of holidays in the garden. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to address a couple frequently asked questions that I get in my comment section. So first of all, I am so sorry that I cannot respond to every comment and email and Instagram message. You guys, when I started this channel, I thought, okay, I'm gonna do 5 videos a week and I'm gonna respond to every single comment I get. And unfortunately, I'm just like, it's just, I'm out of time. When I'm really busy and I have a lot of stuff going on, usually the first thing that I drop is responding to comments. And I totally am so sorry about it, because it's actually one of my favorite things to do, is just to have that conversation, that back and forth with all of you. I absolutely love it. And so I feel terrible for not responding to comments. I'm trying to find more hours in the day, but I'm having a hard time with that. So I'm sure some of you can commiserate with me. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to answer a couple of the frequently asked questions that I get some version of it kind of often, because when I do read through the comments, it's kind of, I get a couple of the same questions over and over again. So I just wanted to answer that, just to give you guys a heads up, and really apologize for not answering all you guys' questions. So the first FAQ that I have is, and again, this is just an example, is from Charm313. She says, I can't believe she's doing all these for non-commercial use of the flowers, or is it? And I missed that bit. So this is in regards to my flower field, which is my big cut flower garden. I'm borrowing a piece of property from neighbors and neighbors' family, and I'm growing a whole cut flower garden, basically starting it from scratch. And yes, it is a ton of work and way more work than I had imagined, but no, I will not be selling the flowers that I grow on there. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is because that's a lot of pressure to be able to grow enough stuff to be able to sell it. That's, you know, I want this to be a fun thing. I want this to be enjoyable for me and you guys. And so I think that having to worry about getting enough product to sell and, you know, it's just not that kind of channel, I guess, is, you know, I'm an amateur. I am not a professional grower or a farmer or anything like that. So that would, one, just be too much pressure. Two, I'm borrowing this land from a neighbor's family. And the deal was, when I borrowed the land, was that I was going to borrow it to have fun with it, not to make a profit off of it. So I think that that would be abusing their generosity if I tried to start making a profit off of it. I'm sure that they would be fine with it if I asked them, but I just don't feel comfortable with that because that's not the deal when we started off. Like, I did a whole kind of proposal thing of what I had planned and how I was going to film it and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't say anything about selling flowers. So at least for this season, this year, I won't be selling any of my flowers. The other thing is I don't feel, this is a learning experience for me. You know, I've done my small cut flower garden on my own property, but I'm still learning the whole process of it. So I'm not going to rule anything out that I won't ever sell flowers. You know, I mean, I really don't see that happening, but I also don't want to rule it out. But I'm just learning. This is kind of how I learn. I learn by doing, and so this is doing. This is like hardcore doing. And then the other thing I wanted to address with that is that, yeah, it is expensive. It's, you know, the chicken wire fence and the T-posts and renting the tiller. It does cost money. It absolutely does cost money. And I would say, you know, if you don't have a YouTube channel that has a bit of an income, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't justify doing it, I don't think, on such a big scale. I do get some income from my YouTube channel for you guys watching the advertisements. So I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching my videos. But 100% of the money that I'm making off of those ads, I'm putting back into my channel, and I'm using that money to do things like pay for supplies for the cut flower garden. And so that's kind of how I justify it, is that it is a bit commercial because I am filming what I'm doing on the flower field. So I hope that that makes sense. No, I won't be selling any flowers that I grow, but it is a bit commercial, right? I mean, I'm making money off of the videos that I film, off of what I'm doing at the cut flower garden. So I hope that answers your guys' questions. If you had any questions about non-commercial use for the flower field. Okay, another question I get is about planting daffodils, right? So I've talked a lot about tulips in my zone and how you have to pre-chill them and when I'm going to plant them. Karen C says, "Hi Janie, you had mentioned planting your tulip bulbs around Christmas time. When do you plant your daffodils? Would it be the same time frame if we were to plant bulbs in pots? I'm pre-chilling my tulips and have other bulbs ready to plant. Thanks for your helpful videos." So Karen had the same question. A lot of people had the same question as well. So basically, daffodils, if you live in an area where the ground freezes, you want to plant them like 2 to 4 weeks before the ground freezes. My ground doesn't freeze, it never freezes. And so the recommendations for when you want to plant daffodils in my zone, which is would probably be the same for like zone 8, 9, and 10, would be you want to do it when the nights have cooled off. And so that's usually around November for us, November, December. So I'm planning to plant my daffodils probably in early December, I think is my plan. You know, it kind of just depends when my annual swoop, that's the main place that I plant my daffodils. It kind of just depends on when that kind of fades away and I feel ready to pull it. It still looks pretty good right now, even after having a couple frosts. Surprisingly, the Supertunia Jazzberry is still looking gorgeous. So I'm not ready to pull it, so I'm not ready to plant my daffodils, but I do have them. I got a delivery from Color Blends, And okay, so I have daffodils that I planted in my swoop. They do naturalize here, but I want to plant a blend. I'm planning to plant a blend of daffodils this year so that I have a longer show of daffodils. So I am planning to plant bulbs this year, and I think I will be doing it probably in a couple weeks, maybe early December. So Karen, to answer your question, I would plant your daffodils sometime around now, sometime around end of November, early December, if you live in a similar zone that I do. Okay, next question was from Jay Crane. Update on peonies. That's it. Which is kind of funny because whenever people ask about peonies, I kind of get the same. What about the peonies? Update on peonies. So the peonies did not bloom this year, which I am not surprised. Peonies take years and years to bloom. And my goal is just to have them survive and have them thrive, even though we don't get a chill period or enough chill period here in Northern California in zone 9B. So peonies need some chill time over the winter. So my plan is, I will link my peony video down below. My plan is to actually pour some ice every week on my peony plants to stimulate a chill period. So they grew, they had foliage, they did well. I have already cut them back because in November you want to cut your peonies back to stimulate dormancy or hibernation, right? And then hopefully next year I might get 1 or 2 blooms, but again, it's kind of a long-term thing that I'm planning on my peonies. So that's my update on my peonies. They grew this year. It's just kind of a long-term thing. Side note, I do have a neighbor that wants to give me some very, very old peonies, like 40 years old or something like that bloom perfectly. So I have to look up transplanting peonies and see how it'll do. But I might have some peony blooms next year if I can get those peonies transplanted. So that is my update on my peonies. And then finally, the next question I often get is about water restrictions here in California. Amanda asks, so clearly you're not in an area with water restrictions. I constantly hear about water restrictions in California. And yes, Amanda, you are totally right. There are lots of places in California that have water restrictions. And we do have water restrictions here in Davis, but the only water restrictions we have are they ask us to only water our lawn 3 times a week. That's the only restriction that we have, and it's not really enforced. At least it wasn't this year. So that was the restrictions that was placed on us this year. I know that places that specifically in Southern California had significant water restrictions. Even out west, I know that there was a lot of water restrictions as well. We live very close to the foothills. Davis is very close to the foothills. The foothills are kind of, it snows in the mountain and then the water comes down into the reservoirs. So we do have a lot of water here. We're also close to the Sacramento River. So kind of where I live, we still have water here, which is fantastic. So I think that's why our restrictions weren't as strict as other places in California, but Davis never had restrictions other than asking us to water 3 times a week. And we did water 3 times a week, except for maybe when it was really hot. We bumped it up to every day for that heat wave. But I think everybody bumped it up to every day just to save their plants. So we have no restrictions on drip irrigation, so I can do my drip irrigation whenever I want. We do have restrictions on hosing off hardscape, right? So it's not like I can come out with a, what do you call it? A power washer? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. They don't want us like cleaning off our driveway or anything like that, which is such a bummer because mine needs to be cleaned off so bad. And I would love to power wash all of the hard, the concrete that I have and the cement that I have around my property. But that's one of the things that's restricted, and they really don't want us to do that. Again, I don't think it's a hard and fast rule, but I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I did that. I wouldn't be doing well. So what I am doing for water restrictions, possible water restrictions next year, is that I installed my Blue Barrel system, which is a water harvesting system, which is not going to solve all my issues, but it might help limp me through. For example, if I'm restricted to watering every other day, maybe my very water hungry plants, I can I can water with the rain harvested water or even gray water that I save indoors. So that's my plan for next year, but hopefully it just rains so much this winter that they don't put any restrictions on us. I read somewhere that even if we get a ton of rain this winter, we'll still technically be in a drought, but hopefully we'll get enough so that we don't have restrictions next year. So I hope that answers all of your frequently asked questions, all the questions you guys had and just didn't ask. I haven't really addressed any of those questions, so I hope that this was helpful for you guys. And I just, again, want to thank you all so much for supporting me and my channel. I am having so much fun. I am loving this. This is like a hobby times 10 because I get money for it, and I can actually spend money on my hobby, so I'm having the best time. So I hope you all join me starting next Monday for my Holidays in the Garden series, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today.